Alright, you probably clicked on this video wondering how to start motovlogging. I'll be going over the 7 things you need to have and the 7 things you need to know. The first thing we're going to start with is an action camera. You need an action camera to motovlog. So I'm using the Action 5 Pro. It's a really good camera and I think you can still get it on a good deal for $250. I recommend getting the Action 5 Pro rather than getting the Action 6 because the price difference. You're almost getting the same performance, but you're paying about $250 for the Action 5 rather than paying $450 for the Action 6. So if you're on a budget, get the Action 5. It's not big of a difference, especially if you're motovlogging. It's not going to make a big of a difference. Now, with the Action 5, you're going to get a case cover. This case cover protects your camera, keeps your camera safe, also got magnets on the side, and the camera itself has magnets on the bottom, and you can still access your Type-C cable. I forgot to mention that the Action 5 comes with the Type-C cable, so you don't have to worry about buying another Type-C cable, unless you want something that's longer than this length. Now, it also comes with a magnetic mount. Make sure you never lose this magnetic mount. This magnetic mount, you're going to be using this one to basically connect it to the camera and to the helmet. So if you lose this one, you're probably going to end up buying another one. So make sure you don't lose this one. Now, there's other accessories right here, like the mount you can use right here. You can just tape it somewhere and use it. I'm not going to be using this one because I already got a chin mount, and I also recommend that you get a chin mount. This mount will not mount perfectly. If you try to mount it like this, it's going to keep a lot of empty area around the side, as you can see, and it's not going to mount correctly, and it's just going to be useless, and it's going to mess your helmet up. So get a chin mount. I'm going to go over the chin mount after I go over the camera and the SD card and the card reader. So the Action 5 Pro, it comes with 47 gigabytes of internal storage. 47 gigabytes will give you about 40-ish minutes of time recording on 4K 60 frames per second. So I don't know if that's going to be enough for you, but I'm pretty sure you all are going to be recording for more than an hour or at least 2 hours. So if you're looking to record for more than 2 hours, there's a benefit of having an SD card. It's going to give you extra storage, and you can record up to 5 hours if you swap batteries. If you have an extra battery, you can record up to 5 hours, or you can just, record for 2.5 hours and then charge the camera and start recording again. Now, another benefit you're going to get from an SD card is the speed. Using an Action 5 Pro, if you try to upload 47 gigabytes from the Action 5 into the PC, it's going to take you about 22 minutes. Using an SD card, uploading 47 gigabytes from the camera, from the SD card to the PC will probably take you less than 9 minutes. So there's a big difference. Going from 22 minutes to 9 minutes, I recommend getting an SD card, especially if you're trying to save time on uploading videos. The SD card, you need to get a microchip. Make sure you get a microchip SD card. I will have all the links in the description. This one is the SanDisk Extreme Pro. It is the fastest card you can put on this camera. So we talked about the camera now. We talked about the SD card. Now let's talk about the reader. The reader is basically a way of transferring files from the SD card to the PC. This is the fastest way you can transfer files. So if you're looking forward to transfer files, you need the reader, especially if you're using an SD card. This is how it goes. If you're using an SD card, you need a reader to transfer your files. The reader is like $10. It's pretty cheap. The SD card is pretty cheap too. I have all the links in the description. Now, after you have gotten the SD card, the reader, and the camera, you need ND filters. Now, most of you all don't know what ND filters is, and I did not know about ND filters until I got the camera. So ND filters are basically filters like glasses. So whenever you're riding during the sun, when the sun is bright and there's a bunch of light, the people who are viewing your content, they're not going to get flashbanged basically. I'm not using an ND filter, but if I use one, it's going to be really dark. And they basically get a set of 4. You got an ND filter of 8, 16, 32, 64. Most of the time you're going to be either using the 8 or you're going to be using the 16. The 32 or 64, you can probably use them, for example, if you're in a snowy area and there's a lot of bright lights, you're probably going to need to use something like the 32 or 64. Other than that, the 16 and the 8 will probably be your best choice. There's so many packs. I recommend using the bright day pack if you're going to be using it during the day, which most of you are going to be using ND filters during the day. They do not work at night. They might work at night if you're in a really bright area. Let's say you're at a car meet and there's a lot of bright lights, a lot of stuff, you can use the ND filter. But if you're in a closed area, I don't recommend using the ND filter. It will just make your footage darker and basically make a more of a yeah. Now we have finished about talking the ND filter. Now you probably need the now then, after the ND filter, we need to talk about the mic. How are you gonna record without a mic? You got the camera, you got the SD card, you got the card reader, you got the ND filter. Now you need a mic. How are you gonna record without a mic? I got the DJI Mic Mini. I got this for a really good deal, less than $80. If you're willing to pay the $80 and get a whole pack of them, I recommend you do so. You get a receiver, you get 2 mics, and you get a Type-C connector. You connect to the receiver and you basically connect it to your PC if you want to use the mic on your PC. The mic is pretty small, so let me show you how small it is. So this is basically the mic. It's pretty small, it works perfectly, and it comes with 2 different wind suppressors. I think that's, I don't know what you call them. I'm just gonna call them suppressors. Now, after we have talked about the action camera, we have talked about the ND filters, we have talked about the mic and the SanDisk SD card and the card reader, you're probably wondering how you're gonna record. You probably need an action camera.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So now, after we have talked about the action camera, the ND filter, the mic, the SD card, and the card reader, which is the SD card reader, you need a chin mount. So if you get the chin mount from chinmount.com, you're probably gonna get the whole pack. If you want to get the whole pack, if you don't, up to you. But I recommend getting the whole pack because it gives you other, ways you can just use the camera. So for example, you can get a long mount, you can get a short mount. I'm just gonna let you know that none of these, most of them don't work, especially for motovlogging. I will show you in a video. So this one, it will work because listen, just imagine your camera right here. It can fit up to here, right? So let me show you really fast. I'm gonna put this on this. So on motovlogging, you're just gonna look something like this. You're gonna have the camera right here and the chin mount right here, and you're just gonna stick the camera right here. For the small ones, they basically don't work like that. The small ones are too short and there's just not going to be enough space to put the camera right here because the camera will hit the back side of this one. So the only things you probably need from the chin mount is this one and this thing. You're just going to basically glue it right here, this, and you probably need the most important part, which is this one. After you have these 3, you need to screw them in. You can either use this to screw them in, or you can just use one of the big ones. I honestly don't like the big ones, even though they're convenient and if you can adjust the angle of them. I honestly like the small one because it's less bulky and it's less weight, because this one is like kind of heavy, especially if you're putting the camera on a helmet like this. This is KYT helmet. This is the last thing you need. After you have gotten all of these stuff, all the 6 parts, you need a helmet. Helmet, it's your choice. You can go with an expensive helmet, you can go with a cheap helmet, up to you. So yeah.